Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And we have a lot of choices when it comes to hex wrenches. A lot of times I'll just grab a ratcheting handle or a fixed handle and insert whatever bit I need, but this only goes so far in terms of size. You can only go so big or so small before you either have to change handles or switch to a socket or something like that. But I want to talk about some of these standard hex wrenches, and they often come in sets. And there are three different versions I'm going to discuss here. One of them is kind of the all-in-one, usually got a plastic or metal handle, and then a series of them. In this case, you know, this would be the larger size, and then this would be the accompanying smaller size. These are Klein's. To my knowledge, I don't know if Klein makes a metric set, or at least I haven't seen it on the store floor, but Snap-on does, and I love these Snap-on ones. But anyway, so there's this style. There's the T-handle style. Like this, here's a Snap-on here, may or may not have a 90-degree hex as well, and some of these will also have the ball on the bottom here. I don't know if I've seen one of these with the ball ends, but anyway. And then the third is just the full set, where they're individual wrenches that just slide out of some kind of a holder. And which one do you need? I think you need all three. Personally, in all the sizes, of course, but they do different things. So I guess I'll start with this. This is great because you can individually take out a wrench. You've got a very small amount of distance from the fastener. You know, if this drops in, you're about like here, and then that actually allows you some leverage, some reach in a confined space. These are quite limited. So if you look at that right here, just even in the short side, it's still twice as long as this. So a lot of times this just simply won't fit, or you won't get enough of a rotation because there's so much stuff here moving around that you end up knocking into things. And maybe you can get one of these to work, you know, by wedging it in at an angle and, you know, trying to twist it. But a lot of times these are just hard to beat, just having a good old set, and they're inexpensive for a good one. And they're a little bit more expensive for a, you know, a more brand name one, or you can get PB Swiss, and I can't afford PB Swiss Allen wrenches. I'd love to have a set, but anyway, going to the T handles, these are probably the highest leverage. They're fixed. There's usually one shaft here that's turned at a 90-degree angle inside the head. If not, you'd probably break this part out because there's just not enough to grab. So you can get a tremendous amount of leverage here. The ones that have balls on the end, that allows you to have an imprecise angle into the fastener. They usually don't put the ball on this end simply because there should be room and you can apply a lot of leverage, and the balls aren't really designed for applying a lot of leverage because you don't have near the amount of fastener grip, and if it's at an angle you have even less. But the T-handles, if there's enough room, perfect. I love these things. They're my go-to if I know that I'm going to, you know, have a fixed size and there will be room to use one of these. Snap-on makes a great set. They're not too expensive. Craftsman, I've got a couple of different kinds here. These are good solid ones, USA made, these older ones. This one, the only nauseating thing about this, doesn't have the T handle. I mean, you know, coming out the side. And what size is it? It's got to be on here somewhere. Well, usually these metrics are marked pretty well here. The Snap-on on this older one that doesn't, this kind of a classic design, big heavy T handle. You know, that would allow you to snap this 3 1/2 easily, but doesn't have the 90-degree side. This is their new one. I think these are made in Spain. Yeah, you can see, made in Spain. Real solid design. But what is this one? It's got to be on here somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. So you can see it's 3/16. That's kind of a pain because it gets smaller. You know, what's this one? 5/32. I mean, why couldn't they have written it in great big letters? You know, I don't care where. I like it when it's somewhere you can easily read it. Black on blue is not the best with this Snap-on. It should be in giant letters. I mean, that's really kind of helpful. But anyway, the T-handle's wonderful. The case ones, the ones that are integrated into a handle, these are more handy than anything. For a lot of use, they swivel around. They're kind of a pain. You have to get used to them. If I want to, you know, this particular one, I have to open up the entire thing, fold them all back, and then get out the one that I want. You know, and that's not the best design for a handle. And then for, you know, a lot of turning, this is off center. So I have to make adjustments. I can't just spin it in. That doesn't happen with one of these. But you do generally have all of the useful sizes in one spot. Snap-on, excellent deal when you get one of these, and there's a smaller one somewhere. Anyway, like these are two different sizes. Snap-on makes or rebrands these, are probably Eklund. This particular one in SAE is by far the one I use the most of the handled ones, and it's usually the smaller size. If you look at the size range here, not all of them have that size range, which is great. This Klein set here, you know, was even richer in sizes, but this DeWalt set here, I think this is the SAE one, is lacking. So there's always a size I'm looking for, and I have to grab the Snap-on one because it's not in my DeWalt one. And by the way, these DeWalt ones are pretty solid. I really like the metric one better. This is, you can see here, it's marked. The size is there, and then you have to push the button to release. It says DeWalt there, but it has the sizes for the small ones there because you probably couldn't read them here. So that's a little bit of a change if you're looking for a size, but like a lot of people, especially with the SAEs, they just kind of grab it and try it and see if there's too much play, they go to a bigger one. If there's doesn't fit, they go to a smaller one. But anyway, they're pretty handy. The metric one's pretty solid. I use these, keep these in vehicles, especially the metric one, simply because, there it is, it's got the main sizes that I use. So this one looks like about a 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we can see what's listed there. Oh, this is a smaller, 1.5 to 4, sorry, there. And then 5, 6, and 8 on this side. Now these they're very strong. I haven't broken one yet, or popped one loose, but this particular design, when it locks in, can be a lot more handy than one that's flopping around. So it's solid, probably Chinese made, however. Now, the old school ones were metal, like this guy here. I think this old Snap-on, check that out. Pretty beat up. They're just, you know, they're bomb-proof, super, super durable. A lot of the wear is just right here at the tip, and I did have one go bad on me once. Might have been this one, and my Snap-on dealer literally just opened up a box, pulled one of these out, and handed it to me. In fact, it might be the, you can see that 5, looks a little newer. Maybe I had a couple of them replaced, but he didn't give me a new handle or anything, obviously. You can see that. Snap-on's new logo. He just swapped that out. It was no big deal. Just unscrewed this and put it in. Now, if you can control the screw, that's great, because often you want to have just enough resistance so it's not flopping around, but you don't bust a fingernail or have to reach for a screwdriver to try to pry it out of the handle. Klein makes one of the biggest ones I've seen. This guy here goes up to, like, I think this is a 10. Look at the size of that bolt, you know, that you could put this into. I think I would break the handle if I was cranking on this. Actually, it's, what is this? It's a 1/2 inch in a 10 millimeter or so. You can see, nice, long, great big handle. This is a solid Klein tool if you want these sizes. Notice this one's a step down here, I think, the way they've got that, or is there... Maybe I've messed it up. But anyway, it's okay. Torx also is available, but I'm talking about the Hexes more here. So the flip handles, pure convenience, and they're not, if you're going to use them a lot, kind of skip them. These are sort of a must, but if I can get away with a T-handle, that's my preference. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Made in USA. So I really like having both. Where's that? Made in USA. Made in USA. There's a Park Tool one. Not sure where that one's made. It should be USA. But anyway, these are probably the best value for the money because you get more for the same amount of money, or you get a... In fact, sometimes that's the only way you can get all of the different sizes. But if you use them a lot, and for some things like in cycling, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the standards. In fact, 4 and 5 are the two main big ones that are in use right now. So I actually have a bunch of 5s floating around. And if I see one, even like this Husky, I think I got an old set of tools from somebody. I kept this, this Husky, because I use it. This one's got a ball on the end. This one's got a standard. Both these live in the garage, and I'm always loaning them out or grabbing them. I do carry these in the vehicle. Generally, they're like more of an emergency, or in a just a quick small tool bag. I'll have these just because it keeps them together. A lot of times these smaller ones fall out or bend or break, and it's always, you know, bad if you come back, you know, and one of these is missing, kind of like here. I think it's in the pile somewhere, but all of a sudden, you know, the one that I need the most, you know, right there, that 6 is gone. Where is it? You know, actually I need the 5 more. Here it is. Or is that the 5.5? That's the 6 there. So you've got to make sure you always put them back, and that's sometimes a pain. Anyway, I use all 3 different types. My preference is a good set of T-handles when I can use them. If not, it's usually replaced with this because this doesn't beat the T-handle. But if you just need them, need to have accessible ones, but maybe you don't use them all the time, I go with something like that. So those are the 3 main designs and what I think of them. And I hope it was helpful. With that, Doc out.